today I am going to show you how to make a derpy little face with your plushies. So this is my Big Nana pattern that is about to come out, or if you're watching this now, maybe it's already come out. And we do a derpy little face, and I thought I would create a quick tutorial for you. And even if you haven't bought that pattern on my Etsy or Ko-Fi, you can still have access to this to make some of them right now. So you are going to need a few things. You're going to need a completed or almost completed plushie. So normally I actually do the faces before I do legs, but we're going to make this one work. You are also going to need some safety eyes. I recommend for this specific look we're going for using the just standard black safety eyes. This is size 14. For the yarn, I forgot to mention, this is the Mystique yarn. I love it. It makes a really big, fluffy Big Nana. So those are the eyes that work with this yarn. You are also going to need thread for the mouth, white for around the eyes, and then pink for the tongue. All right, so first thing we need to do is put in the eyes. So when you do this particular look, you're going to want to make sure they are pretty far apart. You can always put your mouth below the eyes, but if I can, I like to put it here. So what's wrong, Chipping?
Mom just keep getting in the sky and keep doing stuff with my iPad. Mama.
Okay. Okay, now that the problem is solved, go ahead and put your safety eyes in wherever they fit on the plushie you're working on. And it looks like I don't have a ton of space right here. I could have spaced them a little wider. I think it'll work. I might just do like a little rounded little mouth right there. So that's the thing I like about plushies. And at least the plushies that I make is I feel like every single one is pretty unique. Okay, I am going to use my white yarn now to put the whites around the eyes. And you can do this a few different ways. So sometimes I go in from the top here, thread it all the way through, and then pull back. But I do like to go on the inside, starting from the bottom. So I'm going to insert my needle right at the bottom center, right up against that eye. And I'm going to pull my yarn through, or my thread, whatever you're working with. And just like to give myself a little bit of a tail so that I can tie it on the inside. And then I am going to enter my needle up just directly above that on top. And then I'm just going to pull it through. So you can leave it like this. You can tighten it a little. But you don't want to pull it too tight because then it will go under your eye and it might pop your eye out or make it look weird, like pop it out in a weird way. So we're going to repeat this. I'm actually going to connect the two. So I'm just pulling a long tail on the other end. And I'll go ahead and tie this just a basic like knot. Okay. Now I'm going to use this tail to do the other eye. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in from the bottom, just right up against the eye. Try to get it like the bottom center. And I'm going to pull it up. and then just straight down. Sometimes your eyes might be sitting weird just because the nature of the rounds, like, you know, these aren't perfect rows, especially when you're making a plushie because you're working in the round. Sometimes they're going to turn out a little different. To pull it, sometimes you just need to like press that yarn back along the side. So these eyes do look a little different, and this is the point where I just kind of have to decide, like, do I want to redo it? Can I just puff it up a little or put it down? So if you look here, this is what's bothering me. I don't like how the top is attached differently. Like, this is more seamless, and this, you can see the eye. So I am actually going to pop that up and see if I can fix it. If not, I do know that's an issue that is most people aren't going to notice. So I'm just going to see. So I put it there last time, so I'm going to put it a little more center to where it'll catch in a tighter stitch. You see, if yours does that, you just need to push it to the side with one of your hands and then pull it a little tighter. Okay, that looks a lot better. So you can just play around with it until you're happy, but these are the eyes. So next, we're gonna do the mouth. Okay, so next we are gonna take our black thread, and I cut about the length of the plushie. Just enough that I know I'm going to have some wiggle room to tie it off. And I know some of you actually embroider your plushies after you've stuffed them, but I do like to tie mine this way, so that's just how it works. Okay, so I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do it right in the middle. You can also do a really long one right here. And when you do the tongue, you can just make sure it shoves it up a little. But I want to see how it looks for me first. So I'm going to go in from the inside. I'm going to take the stitch right next to the eye. And I'm going to pull up my thread. I'm going to go all the way across and find the stitch over from the eye. And pull that through. We might have a visitor from Mochi. Nope. Okay, he's gone. So I feel like that's a nice little, cute little. I'm going to keep him. But the other option would be to go one stitch lower than the eye. Like if you want a wider, yep, here comes Mochi. If you want a wider mouth, you can do that. Okay, so next we're going to do the tongue. Alright, so grab your pink yarn. This can also be done sometimes when I do my tongues or my beaks. When I'm writing a pattern, I will actually do this after the plushie's done, and I'll take my hook and I will do a single crochet, half double crochet, and then a single crochet and pass it off just to give it some, not only does it secure, but it also kind of makes it three-dimensional. With this plushie, there's already a lot going on with him, so I try to keep it a little more simple. So grab our pink yarn. So I'm actually going to pull this through the same, bless you, Joey, the same line that I did this. Like he looks like nothing, but it'll make that tongue pop up a little bit. But I'm just going to do it around that one stitch in the middle. So pull through. There's a little tongue. I'm going to pull that mouth a little tighter. I want it to be a little more three-dimensional, or 3D as the cool kids call it. Oh, gravy, look at his face. Poor guy. Okay. So there's just a little tiny tongue. If you want it to stick out, you can always loop around again, or you can just use your needle to wiggle a bit. And you may want to just reach in and tighten your thread for the mouth. So there is the little derpy face. You can make them grumpy, give them eyebrows. I can't wait to see the faces that you make, your versions, whether it's with your big Nana or with your other plushies. So leave me comments if you have any questions, or tell me what other things you want to see that I do with my work.